ladies, for having me today. Every day is a Women's Day for us, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed. Well, today I would like to praise all girls, women, and all genders standing together to support the value of equality. And today, within this union of honoring all women, I would like to also offer my heartfelt prayers to the women facing abuse in war zones, like our sisters in Indian-occupied Kashmir, who are facing human rights abuses every day. Of course, we are well aware that what the Indian administration is doing in the occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and they are being fulfilled with deliberate actions of war crimes, genocide, shortly many unfair applications, which clearly pointing against United Nations human rights principles. And of course, India's Modi administration is well calculating their cunning tactics towards eliminating their victims' core moral values by suppressing the women in occupied Kashmir. Eventually, we all know that the force of sinister rape, abuse, and violence is a war crime in the occupied regions, which includes an intention to destroy the futures of the generations in the applied area. So, in this exceptional day of union, I urge the United Nations Security Council to take a bold step towards enabling peace for Indian-occupied Kashmir, because abuse against women is a wicked poison which its spread can destroy the entire wellness of society. Therefore, unfortunately today, not in the conflict zones only, but in all around the world, the ongoing violations against girls and women is actually one of the most widespread violation of human rights. In fact, such forms of abuse can have many variations, such as domestic violence, sexual violence, early and forced marriages, genital mutilation, honor crimes, sex trafficking, slavery, neglect, physical abuse, psychological abuse, elder abuse, emotional, verbal, spiritual, financial, and material, organizational, institutional, discriminationary, abuse, rage, and more. So women can face all this sort of abuse everywhere around the world. And this is happening more and more intensively in Kashmir. Plus, was disabled women more likely to face such mistreatments? The studies indicate that more than 70% of women experience brutality and abuse around the world anyway. Adding to this, the challenges that arrived with COVID-19 pandemic brings to our attentions that it is time to readapt our applications, and it is time to update our policies. I'm telling you this as a government advisor, as a presidential advisor, as a ministerial advisor who is active in international level. So we have to enhance our policies while we are rebuilding our lives. Because if you don't enhance our efforts, and if we don't pursue the solutions correctly, this alarming negativity which lurking within the society will eventually diminish the health pillars of sustainability. We will not have our aimed sustainability, which we were aiming for 2030. Surely, we are well appreciative that many discrimination prevention principles taking their articles in many UN member countries with enriched law sections and treaties, somehow this is happening within many UN member countries, but except India, or doesn't apply to Indian occupied Kashmir. That's the question to ask, why? Then, having said so, the country's international differences, such as geographic, cultural, traditional, social, historical, economical, and most importantly, educational differences, clearly point to a necessity towards achieving better coherence for equality. Ultimately, with reminder about universal human rights principles, will be fair and just about time to ask all governments for more productive measures, especially now, while we are rebuilding our lives after COVID-19 pandemic. So let's invest more on education, which will entitle everybody for equality. Within the same context, for a coherent society, governments also need to collaborate more often with NGOs, with media, with private sectors, in national and international levels as well. Governments, you have to speed up. You have to update your game in international level. And ladies around the world, remember, every day is the Women's Day for us. So, if you truly want to progress for the purpose of empowerment and for equality, I invite you to unite more and to unite better. I invite you to leave our differences aside, to collaborate better, to focus on our very own educational and enlightenment goals. This will also help us towards protecting the well-being of our children. After all, we are the best friends. We are the sisters. We are the daughters. We are aunties. We are the partners of someone. But the most importantly, we are the mothers of all the future generations. Never forget that. What a unique key we are to open the door of a stronger society. Just embrace that, ladies, embrace it. So we don't need to be empowered by someone or something. We already got the power. Plays within. Also, let's unite for our sisters in war zones. And let's unite for our sisters in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Because they have nobody but us. Let's unite for them. It's us, we can help them. How strong we are. Just remember, we can make a difference. We do make a difference. We are unique. We are free. We are here. And time is now, ladies. Let's just make it happen. All my blessings. Thank you very much indeed.